He's preparing.
Sun.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to change something 1 minute. Yes, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sola Boyadeko. You're welcome to Matters Arising on Podium International TV. With me here today, as usual, is Mr. Kayode Emola and Daddy Oluwole Ajala. Today, we're going to be talking about the Yoruba people. Who are the Yoruba people? Where are they? Where can they be found? And the characteristics of the Yorubas. And all in all, we want to talk about the unity of the Yoruba people. So today, this is the second episode of Matters Arising. Sorry we're a bit late today. It's supposed to be 1 o'clock every Saturday. But here we go. You're welcome, Mr. Ajala. You're welcome to the show, sir.
Glad for having me on this program today. And I hope we're going to have a good time talking with other people about the ongoing discussion. Thank you.
I hope so too. And Mr. Kayode Emola, you're welcome to the show once again.
Thank you for having me today.
Okay, so I'm going to start with Daddy Ajala. Can you please tell us who the Yorubas are? Can you define the Yoruba people?
One thing is that you don't define a race. You just say where they come from and how they have existed over time.
Okay, I'm talking about characteristics of Yoruba people.
Yeah, hold on. Let me go, because I'm going to sort of encapsulate the whole thing into a very simple unit. I don't want to go into semantics. We are a unique race. We are, from the language of description, we are called Eniyan, àwọn ọmọ Ogbo, from the ancient times. And we have been identified to have existed singularly and continuously for over 10,064 years.
Wow.
Last year was 63. And we have always come back, we have journeyed the world, the earth as it is, the globe as it is. Traces of the Yoruba people have been found in every continent of the world. And the power, the connection of the Yoruba people with the earth, with the cosmos, has helped them to understand the nature of things. And that's why they have been able to develop certain characteristics that are not common to other races. Although there are some, the Maya of Mexico or the Southern America, and some other peoples in Eastern Asia have almost similar characteristics. But I find now from the side that other peoples of the world are now coming back to learn more about the superior characteristics of the Yoruba race, particularly in Ifa cosmology, with a higher sense of mathematics, which is unsurpassed and they're still being studied critically by great scientists, even though we are not given the credit because there is not a Yoruba nation to reference to. There is only a Yoruba people to reference to. And that is why we need to come out of a place we are tempted to make a nation. That is the territory called Nigeria. There are more Yorubas in the territory called Nigeria in West Africa. And there are more Yorubas again in the South American, particularly Brazil. There are a lot of them, over 60 million, the last count. And we find that those of us who have traveled know that we have Yorubas right from Benin, Togo, and then a gap between us, the Twi people of Ghana, and then again, we have Yorubas in Ivory Coast, even in Liberia. From ancient time, not now, not the people who just journeyed there. So that is one thing I like to explain, because I have a professor friend of mine when he had about one boy called Adeba who used to play for Arsenal. Oh, and what diaspora Yorubanians? No, they are not. Those places are our land. The Europeans just came and created trading posts and named them different countries, just like Nigeria, Dahomey, Togo, Gold Coast before it became Ghana, wrongly. That's the point I'm going to prove in one of my radio shows. And the land of the elephants, Ilua and Lenin, that is the Ivory Coast, and all that. So the Yoruba people have had a common ancestral origin, which even goes beyond Oduduwa. That's one thing we have to know. And that is why Olodumare Lodawa Loto, he created us as a people and gave us land and centered in the place called Ife. Ife is an ancient settlement of the Yoruba people. And some archaeological finds go deep to about 300 meters into the ground, finding settlements of our people, Yorubas. We have existed a long time. And that is why I believe many of our scholars of history or even anthropology should have been studying the Yoruba race deeply more than now. I came into it by prompting of my grandfather. My history is not my major, but history has become my pet love, all because of the Yoruba nation and the Yoruba race and the rest of Africa. So I will want to limit my discussion on the Yoruba because other things I might come up and discuss what I have found about the African and how we have not been able to go back to what we should be. A Yoruba nation should by now be existing. So it should be an Igbo country or Hausa country, not Nigeria. We'll discuss that later. The Yorubas have a distinct language, which is easy to understand by anybody who takes the time to study it. The Yoruba language and culture has a tradition of looking outwards into the future with reference to the past, which most of us young ones now don't do. And it is the philosophy of the world. If you are a nation or a race, if you want to know who you are, you have to go back to the past to be able to inform today and make decisions for the future. That is the work we are trying to do today in the quest for information on who we are. And that is what I've always been requesting every one of us to go back to learn how and who we are.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Mr. K.
Yeah, thank you very much, Coach Tak, and thanks to our daddy, Alex Ajala. Yeah, he said it all. And to buttress his points, for a lot of our listeners today, if they can do a little research, if you could Google Thurston Shaw. Thurston Shaw did a research in present day, what we could say Yoruba land, where we've originated from. And they did an archaeological find of a skeleton in Iwe-Leru, and that skeleton was dated back to about 9,000 years BC. Now, they went further to look at the DNA of those skeletons, and they correspond to the skeleton of the DNA of those living in present-day Yoruba land in Nigeria. The sad thing that has happened to us was first the slavery, and worst case was the colonialization, because what the colonialization did was first, it was stealing our people and then transporting them abroad. So when they did that, our people still did not lose their identity. And that's why we have quite a lot of people, the Yoruba people in Brazil, that identify as Yorubas. And the number keeps growing year by year. For our people back home, when colonialization now started, what it now did was, the first thing it did was it robbed us of our identity. It robbed us of our identity, who we are, what we stand for, and even the naming of the land. First, they changed the name of the rivers. So they give it Negro River, River Niger, and then now use that river to name the country, because maybe naming it Yoruba land would sound something. So they gave it Negro land, which is not a characteristic of a people. You don't go to somewhere and say this is white land. There's no place as white land. The Yoruba are a unique people. I see a lot of people want to describe the Yoruba as having originated from the Jewish nation. And the dangers about people trying to superimpose their identity. The Yoruba people have existed before the Jewish nation. We've existed continuously for over 10,000 years. Before then, we've also existed, but tracing back over 10,000 years, we can say, yes, these Yoruba people have already existed. So for somebody to now tell us that the Yorubas emanated from the Jewish nation, yeah, we might have characteristics that are similar, but we need to make history straight, not trying to adapt into history into what we now are. The Yoruba people, we are a unique people. We are the original people. And if you go to Australia, there are Yorubas there. They call them the Aborigines, which is Aboriginals. We are Aboriginal people. We are original people. And that's why even Bat described us as the purer, they call it purer black people, purer Negro. And that was where Lugard also took that word to say we are the purer Negroes. But I don't like to describe myself as a black man. I'd rather call myself a brown person, a brown man. But that's a case for other people. The Yoruba people are a unique people. Somebody was trying to describe the Yoruba people, Professor Lang. And Professor Lang was saying, taking us to Lamurudu, Sargon of Akkad. He didn't do justice to that, because he was saying there's 2,000 years between Lamurudu, which they believe to be Oduduwa, and to be Oromio, and Sakad of Agon in the, will I say, Persian Gulf. But then the Yoruba have existed before that, and history verifies that. So we should not allow people to thwart our history. We are a people of substance, and we need to now begin to let our people understand who we truly are and what we can really offer the world, because we are offering the world quite a lot. But because we don't have that land now, it's not like we don't have that land, but we've now been mixed with people who do not identify with our tradition, who do not identify with our culture, who do not identify with what we are and what we believe in. And that is why we say, if we have our own Yoruba nation, our own ancestral home, it will be a point, it will be a base where the world can say, that is Yoruba land. And I believe that is what our people need. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. K. So, Daddy, so will it be right to say that the separation started from when the British invaded our land? Or would I be right to say that the slave trade started the separation and the breakup of the Yoruba people into various regions? And if that's true,
various countries.
Sir?
Into various countries.
Yes, into various countries, chopping us up into various countries.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So, and if that is right, so where do we go from here?
Now we start from the core, where you have the larger population of Yorubas, which happens to be that territory called Nigeria, the trading post created. You see, I keep on wanting to analyze. The word colonization is just an aftermath of a description of an action. The white man came to create spheres of influence and trading posts against each other. They will agree that from this boundary to this other belongs to you, and that one belongs to you. There'll be debates on, okay, that boundary, let us move it to that side, without recourse to finding out who are the people within this boundary area. The same thing happens to the Fulanis and even the Hausas in the northern part of the territory now called Nigeria. Some of them were cut into Chad, some of them were cut into Niger, some of them were cut into Dahomey. So there was no concern about the 1884-85 Berlin Conference did not consider the interests of the people on the land who they were trying to claim. And after claiming it, this is my trading post, then you said we are colonized. You colonize a place that already exists in a name. They created those territories called Nigeria, Benin Republic, and all others, and then put the name colony on it. Because for a young person who is reading through history, and you see the statement, the British came to colonize Nigeria, the first impression is that, oh, it's an ancient country. It is not. It was created. That's what I keep on emphasizing. They did not come to colonize Nigeria. They created Nigeria and then colonized it. That's the key thing that our historians, even back home, are not teaching our people. And if they understand that it was a created space, putting people who have nothing in common together into a rigid political structure or trading post, which now turned to a political structure, which our people helped to make a political structure by some of our people who were educated even before the creation of Nigeria. Our people who are educated in the Western education before the creation of Nigeria started singing the song of Nigerian nationalism instead of the song of their own Yoruba origin nationalism. A Yoruba person singing the song of Nigerian nationalism is stepping the boundary. Is he speaking for the Igbo man or the Hausa man? You see, that is where we have made the greatest mistake in Africa, starting from Nigeria. So as at the time we were about to have independence, we should have jettisoned the existence of Nigeria. That's not freedom. We have not had independence. That's why I keep on repeating the word from East Africa. Uhuru not yet, freedom not yet. The Africans is not free yet because we are living in territories created for us.
Wow.
So that's the important thing. And I pray to God Almighty, Olódùmarè, tó fún wa ní iyè àtẹ̀yẹ, tó sọ wá di ènìyàn àwọn ènìyàn tó ń gbé ìmọ́lẹ̀, tó ń tàn mọ́lẹ̀ sí ọkàn àwọn yòókù, kó tàn mọ́lẹ̀ yẹn padà sí gbogbo alọ́kàn torí ó dà pé àti pàdé, kó jẹ́ kí ìmọ́lẹ̀ yẹn padà sí wa lọ́kàn, ká rí ibi tí àti ṣìnà. À ń ṣe àwọn ará bí ènìyàn la wá. Àwọn ará bí tán kó pọ̀ mọ́ wa kò yẹ ká wà pẹ̀lú wọn. Tá bá ń ṣèdè wa, just like I was discussing with you offline earlier, there's one big brother who went to the north. He was a top civil servant in Lagos. He went to Kaduna and went to the General Post Office that was in the LSC before the coup. He went to the General Post Office to buy stamp and some postage medicine, a money order to send to the family back home because he was staying a few months in the north. He got to the post office and he made his order. I want some stamps and money order papers to send to Lagos. The post office clerk was just looking at him. You know why? Because he did not speak Hausa language. We were speaking English language. Let's roll it back. Let's say, for example, he was able to go there as a Yoruba person, he does not understand English, and the other one does not understand English. How do they communicate? You see, most of us who are going to this political accommodation are not thinking. And they know that most of the time they go to other places to campaign, they have to find a translator. See, the translator bá sọ nǹkan míì fún àwọn audience nǹkan. They say, oh, I have come here, I'm Oluwole, I represent big party. My policy is to introduce free education, free health, good roads and all that to all of you. The translator will say, don't mind him. Talking to these people. When I finished talking as if I'm telling you what he said, clap. That's what happens. I found out. That's what happens across Nigeria when they go around having translators. That's why some of them have been wise enough to find people of their own. In fact, they still deceive. We are living a grand deceit. We are not one. The Yoruba race has to wake up to that reality. All our professors and all others to wake up to this reality. We are not one. When we don't speak a common language, we don't come from a common ancestral origin. We are older than what most people know. And that's why if you go to a website called the Yoruba Organization with a Z instead of S.com, you see what I'm talking about. We are an ancient race. And we are very powerful. We have a spiritual connection with the cosmos. That's one thing that I know. Because we make things happen with Oro, which is also found in the Bible. Oro ti wà ní ẹnu Yorùbá kó tó wọnú Bible. John 1. Yeah, we had it. And that is why we're able to move mountains. We are able to transportation from one. We are able to appear in two places when we tune ourselves into the cosmos, which we belong. And that is what scientifically they're trying. They know it is possible. They are trying to replicate it. They've been able to move little substances from one space to the other. But that of the Yoruba race is so unique that a whole body, when transported to the other place, is still exactly the same whole body. You will not have the eye coming into the front or this. We should not downplay who we are. We should stop some of the unnecessary games we are playing with ourselves. We should speak with one voice, so that we can be free.
Ami. Thank you, sir. Mr. Kayode Mola, the Yorubas are where they are today. What's the way forward?
Thank you very much. I so much agree with what Daddy has said today. And if you look at, and it's very true, when a lot of people say British colonized Nigeria, you know, I told people the kind of words we use sometimes affect. When you go to colonize somebody, That means it was existing. But I like the way he so put it, that they created it first and they colonized us. Now, the first place the British called colony was Lagos. And that is why they always refer to it as Colony of Lagos. It was later they now say the southern Nigeria is a protectorate. And if you go into their document, what they said was some places were conquered and some places they had treaties. But in all, they call it protectorate. Now, looking back at what really happened to us, the balkanization that happened, where no regard was given to the people. And that's the same thing across all Africa, where in apartheid South Africa, the Boers got there, the British and all the rest. And then they claim, oh, we got here first. It was only when the South Africans came out from their caves. And sometimes it pricks my heart why we need to refer to them as South Africans. They're not South Africans. They are Zulus, they are Xhosas. Let's call them by their name. They are the real name that they are. But you see places they will tell you it's Cape Town. What's Cape Town? That's alien. So that's what the British did, because they used that mentality of slavery. And that was the mentality of, when we get you first, we have to strip you of your identity. Once we are able to strip you of your identity, then we can superimpose whatever it is. You see a lot of stars in the US today who are brown folks like myself. You see people like Robert Kelly, Al Kelly. You see Jay-Z. You see, they were first, the ancestors were first stripped of their name. And that's a very bad thing that has happened to our people. We were first stripped of our identity and then superimposed an artificial identity on us, which was then, because that is the only way that they can take away whatever we have. When I was growing up in school in the 90s, and you see seniors in the school telling you, don't speak Yoruba because it is vernacular. And they will be whipping you because you're speaking your own God-given tongue, only to adopt a borrowed language. In today's world, if you go to, and what that does is it kind of skew people's thinking to think that what you're giving is the best. And it's not working. It's not only Nigeria. We have several places. The same in Ghana, although Ghana was given Gold Coast because they got gold, but the Ghanaians changed their name. But if you go to Ghana, it's always been a clash of identity and superiority as well. You have the Ashantis, you have the Akans, you have the other tribes. But in most major places, you see them speaking Ashanti, the Twi language. But the Twi is not, they are perhaps the most populous people in Ghana. But if we start re-identifying ourselves, especially the Yoruba people, to know that we are a unique people. And if you look across all that belt, the language is nearly the same. There's just some little variations. And that's why they call them the Kwa Congo language. So in the ancient times, they could understand themselves. It's the movements of people moving away that you get the breakaway of language, and then they remodify it, and then some speak other things. But the Yorubas, we need to understand now that the only way we can get our unique identity is realize that whatever we have now does not belong to us. It was superimposed on our own identity, which has suppressed the uniqueness of who we are. And we need to fight for that, which we originally are. Thank you.
I will, you see, that superimposition was an acceptance by, sorry, I just wanted to add to what Ayemola just said, which is
Okay,
very,
sir.
so, but the example of South Africa does not give very good credence to what you were trying to describe. The central area of West Africa, actually the Congo, which is almost as large as Europe. You have people across the Congo who do not even know themselves, not even understand themselves. They don't know that they exist in the same country. Yet to call that a country. That's a very bad situation. You see, I happen to have a writer that I've been in contact with, Tim Mitchell. He decided to ride a bicycle from Lake Tanganyika right across to Matadi and to the sea and along the River Congo, a very long distance. I think it took him several months. What he discovered was that when he goes from one ethnic national to the other, he didn't call them tribes. They were any large group of people above 5,000 is no longer a tribe. We are insulting ourselves anthropologically. That is one thing I've always mentioned in some of my speeches. It's an insult. It's already an ethnic nationality. Look at Liechtenstein, just at 8,000 people. It's an ethnic nationality of Liechtensteinians. Even Montserrat in the Caribbean Sea, it's just 4,000 people. So we sometimes it is us. I believe when you go to land under the umbrella of a foreign person, it does not say you should not learn about yourself. When they bring their religion, it does not say you should not practice your religion. You don't have to leave everything. And that's why I praise some of our elders who still kept on holding on to the religion of our forefathers, even though Christianity and Islam was brought into our midst. But you should not forget your origin. Because before those things, you are. It's everywhere in the world that people should understand. Let us look at even the China and Japan. They brought Christianity and others to them, but they still kept on to their own religion. They kept on to their own religion. But our own is like we were gullible. It was not forced. It was as if we decided to accept. Maybe it was as a result of the trauma of slavery that made us to behave that way. I think that might be the cause, that we are looking for an escape route to try to adopt a new beginning, which I say is not even good enough for us. Even if we took their education, we should, just like Awolowo did. He took their education and he used our language to translate their books into our language. That's an emancipation of the people, which we have refused to. Fafunwa did an experiment in a school in Ife, where Yoruba was the main medium of teaching, and English language was just a subject. It was not the main medium of teaching. And those students, almost all of them got grade 1. They were taught in Yoruba language. The science was taught in Yoruba language. The mathematics was taught, the additional maths, applied maths was taught in Yoruba language. Every subject was taught in Yoruba language. They passed. Why can't we go back to that? We have the experiments to show that the power of our language is so that it makes people to excel. And that's what we experience now. A lot of Yorubas are top government officials in Europe and America. But even though we still have some racism, because the people are trying to tell us to know that we are better off in our homeland than being with them, even though they are making use of us. There are top Yorubas in NASA and other places, top Africans there. but they are still always reminded, even though we see some papers that a black man tells off a white man just to go back to his homeland. Where is the express train? Or where is the high level medical services in his own homeland? To me, it is not a pride, it's sadness. Or one girl telling of Macron, let her go back home and see what is there on the homeland. This is where the problem is. It's not the white man, the problem is with us, that we are not looking inwards to steal the knowledge base we have got from the West to improve our land. That's what Japan did after the Second World War when they wanted to kickstart their industry. They will come with their obeisance and then their courses. They took the camera, they took equipment, they brought them home and they broke them up and they made them into new things. Even for an example, the Canon camera is a carbon copy of a Leica camera, one of the top cameras in the world. They took it and pieces it and made. This is what I too was thinking about. That if given the opportunity, some machines that I'm seeing in some countries, I will buy copies and extra ones and go and replicate it for industry in my country, so that our boys make them, not just wholesale buying of equipment. Buy some, make some. That's you do reverse technological changes to this. It's possible, we can do it. I have tried it back home before because there's no electricity. I had to abandon some of the things I was doing. Yeah. Why will I have, because I want to do a simple thing, I have to go and buy a generator? That's rubbish. And that's why industry is not growing in most of Africa, particularly Nigeria. Imagine a whole Lagos city, a center of industry and commerce.
Center of excellence.
It's not functional because there's no electricity, there's no good roads. Even communication, telecommunication is not even effective. The Wi-Fi system is too expensive for the common man. So that is why the Yoruba race has to go out of Nigeria, so that we can start our new developments.
Thank you very much, sir. Is there a roadmap for this Yoruba nation standing on its own or going out of Nigeria? Is there a roadmap?
The roadmap is simple. We have to start to campaign to let our people know. Most people don't know. Most people still think that the Europeans came to steal Nigeria from them. They don't know it was a created place. Most people don't know that the Yoruba race was put into Nigeria, not as on their own accord, but because they were put in as a trading post. We still don't understand that. So we have to campaign like we are campaigning for an election, a campaign for the election of Yoruba nation. That's what will be, that's, if I may use that word. We have to reach out to the minds of our people, from the young ones to the elderly ones, for them to drop the garb of a Nigeria they have tied themselves into unknowingly. That gap is choking. We are not Nigerians. We are Yorubas who happen to be in a country called Nigeria. Thank you.
Yeah, if I may add, I believe there's the roadmap, just like our daddy Ajala said. The roadmap is simple. We need to capture the hearts of our people, and that is what we have started doing, making them conscious. I was speaking with somebody today, and he said, "Oh, we need to imbue the Omoluabi spirit in our people." And I said, "Yes, that is what we need to do." And he said, "Yes, we need all the Southwestern." And I said, "Don't ever use that word Southwestern again. Let us begin to use the word Yoruba, because that's the people we are, and that's what we identify as." We've used Southwestern Nigeria, and that is negates our progress. That is negated our progress, that everything we had was taken away from us. So we don't owe it to Nigeria to be in Nigeria. And I wrote an article for the Boss newspaper, which I said, prior to this nation-state arrangement, which is the first union that many nations now have. If you dig deeper, you will see that many nations are just at the brink of bankruptcy. They are just at the brink of bankruptcy. America left the war in Afghanistan. A lot of people think, oh, because America was magnanimous. They spent $5 trillion and they cannot recover that money. And if they continue to be there, they will continue to lose money. So all these things are not reported. And we are a viable people. We know how to create wealth. And we see a lot of smaller nations that have not even got our population, which is a great asset. They've not even got the kind of mineral resources we have. They've not even got the intellect we have. And all these things are allowed to waste in Nigeria. So the roadmap will continue to get to the hearts of our people. Already we know quite a huge number of our people are frustrated with Nigeria. They just don't know what they need to do next. So the first thing is to just as we say, let every Yoruba realize now that the only way that we can remodel our future, especially for the children and the generations after us, is if we have that unique land that we say, this is Yoruba land, which is the heartbeat or the ancestral land, sending vibrations to the Yorubas, both the ones that have been taken in slavery, the ones that are getting out of Nigeria now, and the ones that will still come out in the future. But if we have that Yoruba land, I believe that will be the holding pot for our development.
Thank you very much, Mr. K. Is there a central information point for people who want to know more? Like Daddy Ajala said, campaign, information dissemination and everything. Is there a central Yoruba information point for Yorubas or other people who are affiliated to Yorubas and they want to know more?
That is one of the things I just wanted to say. You see, almost all our groups have not looked into that particular area. If we are talking of all those areas and saying that we are developing passports and visas, many more people at home who have known where we are going. See, we need to, and that is one thing I've discussed with the prof, and I'm going to contribute a lot of some of the material I have, so it can be distributed to our people at home. Information is power. Information about who we are, which is one of my campaign, but some of the programs I've done with Ade Thomas, and which I am now revising. We need to talk back to our people. Even ordinarily calling and talking to a few will become many because they will tell the others. Because I've experimented with this in my area, and many more youths are now sing the song of "We no longer want to be Nigerians." So if this sings on, the drum beat starts to sound, unlike the drum beat of 70 years of, what did Papa Adebanjo called it? Restructuring. 70 years of the drum beat of restructuring has turned. We have to start our drum beat that is calling for the Yoruba nation to stand on its own, the way Olodumare created us. He did not create us with Igbos and Hausas. He created us uniquely as Yorubas. We should understand this simple logic. And that simple logic will convince our people of the fact that, oh, we've been wasting our time. It is not wrong to have a friend in Igbo land or Hazaland, but we cannot run a country together because we've always along been deceiving ourselves. I have Igbo friends and Hausa friends, but to them who know me, we've always agreed, like particularly the Sultan of Sokoto, the late Sultan of Sokoto's son, who's a very good friend of mine. We have always agreed that we can never run a successful nation in quote because we both agreed it is not even a nation in the first place. So what are we doing? Just the same thing I told the late Adebayo, that it's best for us to go our separate ways. The Yoruba race, we need to talk to our people. And if some of them say other things wrongly, we should not curse them. We should talk to them. We should say to them,
Amen.
and fúnra wọn náà, ẹ má jẹ́ ó pẹ́ kó tó yé yín o. Nítorí pé ọmọ Yorùbá ní ọmọ àlà, ọmọ náà, ọmọ ìyè. Má jẹ́ kó tó yé wa. That's what I say.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Kayode Mola, can you
Yeah,
contribute to the central information points?
Yeah, I agree with what our daddy said. Because of our time, I'm just going to wrap it quickly. We've taken steps in bringing all our Yoruba people, especially leaders together, leaders of thought, leaders who are involved in fighting to have Yoruba nation. And the first step has been done. We have so many Yoruba organizations that have agreed to work as one unit. And that is a very big step for our people. This will now make information disseminated easier. Because what we see is that it's not as if information is not getting to our people, but so when somebody gives out an information, even if it is the best information, somebody else goes out to kill that information, to say either that thing is bad, not necessarily because it is bad, but because they want to prove a point. So we have several points where information are being disseminated, but we believe that with the coming together of so many of these group leaders, it will make information better get to our people. And information is not just from one source. People get information from several sources. It's just the efficiency of getting the information to the right people who need it at the right time. And with time, I believe it will go. We have our own Yoruba app now that is now up and running, which is matching Facebook. With time, people will begin to get used to that social media. And we can then create our own Wikipedia and Google as well. There's nothing stopping us from creating our own outlets where we can then disseminate our Yoruba information to as many people of the world that needs it. So that's where we want to.
Thank you very much, Mr. K. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. We only have 1 minute to go. Daddy Ajala, is there anything you'd like to say to the Yorubas before we round up today, sir?
To all àwọn èèyàn mi, ẹ má jẹ́ kó pẹ́ kó tó yé wa o pé Yorùbá ni wá kì í ṣe Nigerians. Ètí máa sọ̀rọ̀ mọ́ lónìí nìyẹn.
Thank you, sir. And Mr. K, on a parting note.
Well, nǹkan tí màá sọ fún wa ni pé the only place we can call home is our Yoruba land. Nigeria is not our home. It doesn't matter how much we try to build it. It will not make a home for us. Eshego.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. K. And from me, my name is still Tisilola Aboyade-Cole, your host on Matters Arising. Every week Saturday at 1 p.m., we'll be bringing you hot topics from Yoruba land, from the Yoruba people, matters arising, affecting other people as well who are not necessarily Yoruba, but they're lovers of the Yoruba people. So we'll see you same place, same time next week on this same platform, Podium International TV on YouTube and Facebook. From me and the rest of the team, we say, see you around. Have a lovely weekend. God bless.
Thank you for having